hunting down Mexican felons and misdemeanor criminals and deporting them. And when they deport them, they take them right to the border towns and put them across the border in the border towns. Now, as soon as they hit the border towns, they hook up with the Mexican drug cartels and et cetera, and get involved in that kind of activity.
So why is that our concern?
No, that's a strategy. I can show you a white paper I wrote 2 years ago. That's a strategy to bust Mexico down to get the 51st state.
Yeah, it's calling a whole lot of killings and et cetera that goes on with all these criminals in the border towns and et cetera, hooking up with the drug cartel. And then at the same time,
Mexico,
the ATF is doing their fast and furious thing.
But I'm saying,
and they're giving Mexicans guns at a fast and furious pace.
You bet. So, you've got one part of the United States thinking it's this way and another part actually making it into a hellhole. And nobody aware of really the fact that these two things are happening at the same time. It's what's pushed is always whatever people want to use for their own benefit, whether it's politically, economically. The truth of it is we've got a country full of decent, I love Mexicans, they're great people.
They are. They really are.
We've got a country full of people that are being systematically victimized and kept that way because it's profitable.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hey, I love you guys. I'm going to sign off, though. I got to cook dinner, okay?
Thank you, SJ. I appreciate your call.
Till that day, SJ. Till that day. Okay.
Yeah, well, like I said, they're dumping the Mexicans right across the border. They ain't giving them money and a free ride home back to wherever they came from. And when they jump across the border, they don't have anything to do but join up with the cartels and et cetera. The ATF has been giving them guns, fast and furious. I mean, the best military rifles and et cetera that you can get your hands on. I mean, giving them to them for free. And they've been using them on each other on this side of the border as well as on the other side of the border. As a matter of fact, a couple of the guns were used to shoot a border patrol agent to death that they got from the ATF.
Oh, yeah, but that's part of the strategy, The idea is to help clean out the jails, send them over there, and then create so much havoc till it gets to the point on the border where it's almost an open war, giving us an excuse to actually use our military, and then try to do that 51st state type deal.
Exactly, because several planes that have been CIA connected have went down with like 3 and 4 tons of cocaine on the planes, which would tell you that they're bringing cocaine in and out of the country.
Yeah, if you want to see the big strategy, talking about the big overall strategy, it's the one world order trillionaires who are about to devour the Mexican billionaires. Yeah. So they think they're all part of one club, but there's levels to that club. And those billionaires, I know, man, they got to be thinking, man, those New York Jewish bankers are coming. We think we looted Mexico. Right. When they send in the U.S. military after they're done with us, man, we're going to be in jail. They're going to rape and loot us. Right. So that's really what's at play.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going on down there, and that's why the Mexican is running this way. But basically, the way they sending them back, and the way that they're stopping them at the border, the rate of exchange is almost zero at this point, as far as Mexicans getting in and Mexicans getting out.
My question to you is, what do you want to see happen?
I want to see some immigration reform. I want to see Obama do what he promised those Mexicans and find a way for them to legally be here.
Man, let me tell you, do you know that's why we're displaced, man, between all the rationalities?
No, right now.
That's why we're displaced right now. That's why so many of our people don't have a job. Because you want to find a way for them to exist here? You want to find a way?
They already exist here.
Okay, but
they've been here. Some of them have been here for decades.
Let me say this. Let me explain this to you. You want to find a way for them to exist. Now, they've been working. They've not been paying taxes. They've not been paying Social Security.
They've been paying sales taxes and everything else.
They pay sales taxes, but I'm saying the majority of them, if they're not here legally and they don't have a Social Security card, they cannot get a check.
They buy property here. They pay property taxes and everything else.
Okay, no. Okay, let me tell you this. This is the way it is structured. There's one in the house who buys the house. And then there's 20 of them that live in there and they chip in on it, okay?
Sometimes, yeah.
No. Go around and check it out. They chip in on it, okay? So the majority of them, they work in these restaurants, they work in these places, they don't get a paycheck, okay? Yeah. So let me tell you this. When I go to work, they take out taxes out my check, okay?
Yeah.
I got to pay FICA. I got to pay federal. I got to pay state. I got to pay city. They don't pay that. I got to pay Social Security, okay?
Right.
So let's say that this person has been here in the USA and he has worked 20 years for the employer. And finally he's found out and they say, okay, you got a choice. You get to stay here. But now you got to start paying taxes. So you mean to tell me now he's going to come and be able to collect some of the Social Security that I've worked for, so now I'm going to get pushed to the side and get less Social Security? Are you serious?
I don't know that you're going to get pushed to the side.
I'm going to get pushed to the side because we're already getting pushed aside. Because our kids aren't making no money to put back into the system, so there's any money for me when I retire.
Right. I know one thing, that these Mexicans are
So I don't feel like they should
be.
I think that they should be put on a bus and sit back. I'm sorry.
Number one,
I don't think that they should become a part of a system of which I paid into all my life and I have nothing coming right now.
Listen. A lot of Mexicans are here legally. They are Mexican Americans. They were born here.
Right.
A lot of them
what about these people that come on, they bring their stupid family members over here and they never even worked a day in their life and they get on this stupid system. I think that whole system is stupid, and I think what's more stupid is this inflation that they created by bailing out the banks. Now we're stuck with nothing, and now they're going to raise prices.
Right.
That's why people are going to go crazy.
Right.
That's what's happening now.
Right. That's the way I feel about it, because let me tell you, I'm telling you, I worked at the bank, and the lady called in. She couldn't even speak English, okay? And so I said, do you work? She said, no, I don't work. I get Social Security. I said, how long have you been here? She had been here like 5 years. She had worked like 2 years, and she was collecting Social Security because she was disabled now, and she's collecting money, man. You ain't even been here long enough to pay it. I've been here 30 years.
Okay.
I put in 30 years, and I can't go out there and collect right now without a hard time.
That's all the more reason for Obama and the Congress to straighten this situation out.
Right, send them home.
Not necessarily send them home. Not necessarily send them home, but find a way.
I'm with this lady. I am with this lady. She has, man, I'm telling you, she's got a sword. I hope it's flying around. Because I'm glad the women are getting, I'm glad the women are getting mad about this, because there's something going on that's just wrong, man, with this whole thing.
It's unfair. Because I'm looking at her saying, oh, she's getting my Social Security, because guess what? They're telling me when I get 67, you know what I'm saying? When I get 67, I'm not going to have anything to get, because my child, first of all, and your child, and your child, and your child, who is supposed to work and fund that system for us, is no longer getting that job because the Mexican got it.
Let me say this. Some Mexicans have came here illegal. They have had children here. Their children are like 15, 16 years old. They're American citizens because they were born here. They're putting the parents out and leaving the children here. All kind of bad things are happening. The children are going into foster care and all kinds of different things.
Our kids are going in foster care because we don't have jobs.
Separated from the parents and everything.
Our kids are going into foster care because we don't have jobs.
They're separated from the parents. It's almost like slavery, like you're selling your kids down the Mississippi River from Alabama or something. The Mexican parents got to go, but the kids can stay. This whole thing is ugly.
Well, let me tell you this. This is what I feel. If
wrong.
The parents got to go, the kids got to go. They should have to go.
The Mexicans.
First of all, how can you really be legal if you're not legal?
They were born here.
Okay, so what?
That's what makes them legal.
They're still not legal because their parents aren't legal.
That makes them legal.
Who made that law that makes them legal?
It's an amendment to the Constitution.
Whatever.
Listen, Debbie.
They need to unmammoth that. Okay?
Well, they've done that.
Debbie.
Situation.
Listen, Debbie, you're misdirected. See, you're directing your anger right at the people.
Yeah,
somebody's human nature. They're just people.
Yeah,
That's your human nature is if they can get free medical care, or if they can get it, they're going to get it. I mean, that's just,
You know what?
it's just
Let me
human
say
nature.
this.
It's nothing.
Let me say this. I tried to get free medical care right now. They wouldn't even give it to me. Technically, I'm unemployed. Technically, I have a low income. I can't even qualify for it. But you mean they can qualify for it and they're not here? And because they was born here, they could qualify it because they had one legal parent and one illegal parent. But I was here.
Or they
my
had
mom
two
and daddy.
illegal parents.
Yeah, but it's not them. It's the system.
I can't get a dime.
It's the system. That 14th
Right.
Amendment allows them. What they were born here, they're citizens. They put that in order to give blacks citizenship.
It's the elite, Debbie, and what the elite wants you to do is exactly what you're doing. Just have nothing but rage and anger and hatred, and that's what they want to breed in you. That's why they set the system up like that.
They got it. She's got it going toward the Mexican, toward the poor victim of this situation, instead of the corporate boys and the U.S. government that's playing everybody.
Let me say this. I'm mad at the system, I'm mad at the government, and I'm mad, one, that they don't do something to stop it. Because it's not just the Mexicans that's coming in here, it's all of these people that are coming here. Do you know how many people get sworn in each year up in New York?
Look, you don't hear
Do
nothing.
you know
You
how
don't
many
hear
people
anything.
get sworn in?
You don't hear anything about that northern border, do you? The northern border is twice as long as the Mexican border.
Man, I tell you what, I'm going to Canada because guess what? That's the land of the free and the home of the
Well, that's
brave.
what I'm trying to tell you about
I'm
that.
going to Canada because guess what? You don't see nobody deflecting from Canada trying to run to Michigan.
They don't have to try to
Because
deflect.
guess what? There's gravy over there.
They come across the border whenever they get ready and do whatever they want to do. It's no big deal. It's a whole different situation on the northern border. Unlike the Mexican.
The only solution is George Norrie's 51st state. Then the Mexicans will next. Everybody, you know what they found out about people? They found out if you leave people basically alone, they like to move where their own kind are. If they're white Christian country type people, that's where they like to move.
Well, they're not going to leave alone. They created a slave state down there, and basically they're going to work them, man, until they die. With little or nothing coming to them.
Well, 40,000 people dying. That's a war zone now. I mean, there's more people getting killed. It looks like it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, the World Bank forced Mexico into austerity measures back in the 80s and etc. Really just dogging these people out.
Well, you know what? They're saying that Mexico is poor, but I don't really believe that Mexico is that poor right now. I do apologize. I think they're making it out to be that they're poor.
You got some bourgeoisie Mexicans.
Let me say this. Half of this part of Mexico, from what I understand, is bourgeois. And then the lower people live in apartment buildings. But basically, they're
live in apartment buildings. They wish they could get in an apartment building.
They do live in apartment buildings.
They live in a tin shanty.
Okay,
with a dirt floor. With no sewage.
Okay, so I'm not understanding why you're feeling sorry for them, and you're not.
You're not understanding why I'm feeling sorry for them.
Let me ask you this: why you're not feeling sorry for your own people, man? I'm
feeling sorry for all of us.
I'm feeling sorry for my child who can't go out here and get a job. No matter how much education he can't get that job because. Guess what? There's so many legal people here, so that job will never become his.
Yeah, but guess what? You're not looking at the hidden hand that's playing this game.
I understand that. So I feel like we need to get together and go talk to the government and find out how we can get them all out of here.
We need to get together with the Mexicans and find out how we can fix this thing so that they can stay and everything else the right way.
Why you want them to stay?
Because they've contributed to this society.
They ain't contributed to nothing,
They've been used and abused.
Man, look, the next time you
used and abused in Mexico and here.
The next time you see a Mexican over here working on somebody concrete, ask him how much of that money is he paying back in taxes. Ask him. The next time you walk in a restaurant and you see him busting tables, you ask him how much taxes is he really paying, because they're not paying the taxes that you and I are paying.
Let me tell you, a different northern border. Unlike the Mexican-U.S. border, where fences stretch across the border and is patrolled by approximately 10,200 Border Patrol agents, the Canadian-U.S. border has no fences and has less than 1,000 Border Patrol agents patrolling it. The Mexican-U.S. border stretches for nearly 2,000 miles whereas the Canadian-U.S. border is double in size.